regular Idaho potatoes, not red potatoes. You have to peel them and you rice them twice, and then you end up with, this recipe calls for 3½ cups of potatoes and then 1½ cups of flour. 2 tablespoons of shortening, a teaspoon of salt, I use less, 1/4 cup of cream, and about a tablespoon of sugar. So you rice the potatoes twice to get all the lumps out, and then you add the shortening while they're still hot, and then you add, they're supposed to cool, but by the time you get that done, they're cool. So then you add the rest of the ingredients. This is looking about done. Norwegian Lefse made mostly with potatoes. I guess some people actually make it with a lot of flour. And then you start to roll them out. And when you first start to roll them out, the dough is pretty dry, but it gets wetter as you go. So you have to keep the board really, really well floured. And the rolling pin usually has a sleeve on it if it's not a Lefse rolling pin. And you roll them out very carefully. There is one thing about rolling them out that, with having taught both Louise and now Sarah, that you can't roll them like pie crust. You have to roll them with a really light pin. You hold the rolling pin up high, you know, and roll them in all different directions gently, otherwise they stick immediately, which is, you lay the rolling pin on there and roll like a pie crust and it's a mess. You have to do it with a light hand, all different directions gently. You don't go back and forth. Lots of flour. And you lift them up with the Lefse board, and you have to use the Lefse stick to roll them out, take them off of the board and onto the griddle and turn them. When they bubble up on the one side, the grill's at 375. What was it, 10 seconds, 20 seconds? And then you pick under it if it's a little bit brown, you know, then you turn them. And they're ready to go. And you turn them over and you only let them go for like 5 seconds. And then you stack them in, we've always done it in a double piece of wax paper, and you stack them next to each other, not with paper in between, and cover them with a dishcloth and keep them moist until they're fully cool, and then you can store them in Tupperware or something in the fridge. Okay. And then with butter and sugar. And roll them up. That's it.